And in fact, I am an idiot. I think I heard a wolf or something on this game. I'm not sure. I'm going to go back and I have to check the video to see for sure. But basically, when I got up to go check on him yesterday right before bed, it was like, right when I had to like rapid cut, I was signing off, trying to wind down. And it was like, suddenly I kept hearing a, and it was like, okay, he's getting more panicked. This isn't just, oh, the cats aren't sharing their food. Because, yeah, y'all, something adorable you'll see. I mean, read it, me. Something adorable you'll see when it comes to, like, having pets. If you got enough of them, and they're, like, cool with each other, they do adorable shit sometimes. In the case of my cats and dogs, what I will frequently have happen is I'll feed, because I do feed them typically when I get, yeah, I feed them, believe it or not. Y'all pets take food. But I'll get home and I'll feed them typically right when I get in, because if it's been a good day and I've done a lot of prep work at work, I'll be bringing home what I call the chitlins, but it's not. I believe chitlins are a different food product. But I'll basically take the skin and the tendon and the fat from the chicken, and I'll either deep fry it or I'll grill it. I try to alter between the two because, I mean, y'all, I know fried food ain't good for them, but, I mean, is it good for any of us? They really, really like it, and it almost looks like, well, it looks a lot like squid, and they really love squid. I just have a moral. It's like with pig. If I don't think about it, yeah, it tastes delicious, but I kind of feel bad because, you know, that's an animal that sees the world the way we see the world. There's only a few, and I know, I'm PETA, put on my extreme hat here, y'all, but there's not that many degrees of difference between eating an animal and eating a person if they have, again, don't get me wrong, if it's like, oh, this animal's a little bit on the it doesn't care what I do side, like it's just nature, it seems, then I hate it, but it's the way it is. But it's like, and I don't think that I've come up with something revolutionary here, y'all. I really don't. I know that I'm wrong. I just have yet to be told, hey, by the way, you're wrong. Here's where you're wrong. Since there's now 61 of you, super proud, y'all. Like, there aren't words. I mean, y'all keep, there have been like 2 or 3, Kid Gaming and a couple others that, y'all, thank you. Seriously, look, I'm an openly ace queer weirdo that grew up in the South and then moved to fucking do manly industries like towboating and whatnot. So typically, and I hate to be this way, but hell, for years it was, hey man, you look nice today. Fuck you. I mean, shit, sorry, that was a nice thing you said. I'm an asshole. I'm sorry. I did not know how to take compliments, because to me, you know, compliments were never anything you could ever trust. So it's literally, my brain either goes, oh, they're getting ready to make fun of you, or, oh, this is what negging is. Like, I don't know, I'm not going to complain. I'm very, very ecstatic that there are like 61 or 62 of y'all that want to show up and hang out. I mean, I'm like I used to tell my coworkers, I am a bit of a clown. I will own that title. I was a bit of a class clown. I don't want applause. I want laughter. I want to take this twisted, fucked reality we're stuck in and turn it on its head and amuse y'all with it. Now here comes the part that I hate. I can't do that at the moment, only because of where we find ourselves. Y'all, it is hard to come up with good, and now I understand how Hannah feels a lot of the time. Not really. She has an actual, like, huge fan base. Like, again, I toot her horn a lot because she's the main one I listen to. But, like, the big YouTubers, I love them, but I don't know how they manage to avoid things, you know? It's like I get it with the D&D streams. You have a theme. You can avoid without avoiding. Like a campaign I'll soon have coming up about a certain flotilla going to a dwarven village in between a space where dwarves and elves are at war. That's more of a... I'm not going to stream my D&D games unless I get a full party that wants to, and I think we have, like, the props and the fun things to make it fun. But I will talk about it, because I'm a proud-ass nerd to all my friends. And y'all, you really got to remember, if you're little and you're new to D&D, yeah, get that game. It's all about that glory. You go get 'em, Grognock. But if you're like me and you're old, D&D's a lot more about, hey, let's see if I can get this old fella to think about something new, or see it from a different angle. It's much more about, I have the most fun at D&D when I'm just sitting there having my soda or my alcohol or whatever thing we're doing. Probably not alcohol or weed at the time, just because I'll do my vapes if I'm DMing, but I try to stay pretty sharp, just because as a DM, you're basically referee, villain. You can't have your console getting drunk, is what I'm saying. But I'll be sitting there just enjoying my soda, watching party, because that's what a good DM does, I feel like. You're there to make the story go great. You're not there to be remembered, and hell, the times I've DM'd, I doubt anyone does remember. But it's like, I don't go by the book purely. I do a little, but mostly I just, you know, try to have fun with people. Ditto to these, I try to get people to laugh. My problem is just I wander off and don't come back. I want to come back to the subjects and whatnot. And right now, with the way with the place we find ourselves in historically, I would be remiss. I mean, let's face it, right now, to any of my fellows that went to Woodland High School, that we argued and bickered on, well, why wouldn't the Russians would clearly have done this differently, and the Germans would have clearly done this, and then this would have happened, and then all of our problems would have been solved. Why were they so fucking stupid? No, people live. I mean, right now, today, if it is Saturday, today, I fucking hope it's Saturday, I think I lost track of my days. Today, there is a No More Kings rally going on. Check, it's happening everywhere. If I'm not mistaken, today is the day of the dumbass parade, so, no. I'm not talking about the dumbasses parade. What I'm gonna do is talk about No More Kings. Hey y'all, here's something cool about our shithole country of a U.S. country. You wanna know the one thing, the singular thing we did pretty good, and not great, but pretty good, and we were getting a good handle on it until recently? In our country, we have bureaucracy. And yes, we all make fun of it, even those who benefit from it. And yeah, bureaucracy kind of sucks. I'm not going to lie and be like, oh my god, paperwork is amazing. Filing gets me hard. No, bureaucracy sucks. But here's why we have it. I'm a loudmouth on the internet. I'm not a host yet. I'm not putting on big britches or nothing. I'm just a loudmouth on the internet. In an ideal sense, I'll be a lightning rod for some of those hateful cunts to come after instead of some poor queer kid that'll cry and get hurt. You can't hurt me, bitch. I'm done burnt. But at the same time, the thing about it is just that. If I'm a lightning rod, I'm a loudmouth, I'm whatever. But we gotta stop the hate mongers, and we gotta stop the kings. And right now, people who think, now don't get me wrong, that's not including the people of color or the racially infused or the, I don't know the proper terms, forgive me guys, I'm old, it's not my place to say what somebody else is comfortable with, but I typically just call folks black or Hispanic or Latin or, hey bud, I don't quite know what you is and I want to address proper, so what ethnicity are you, or does it really matter to you? Because again, look, if you call any black man across all of the southern U.S. black, most of the time they don't seem to give a shit. Now, you go up to someone from Mexico City or from Mexico and you go, hey my Cuban friend. One of two things is going to happen. If they got like no beef with Cubans whatsoever, they'll be like, hey, I'm not Cuban. Weird that you addressed me that way. Shifu. No, Shifu. Need you to not do that. But beyond that, it's just, you know, we've gotten to a weird place as a society where, oh, you walk on eggshells, you bait a weak cook. It's like, no, I'm not an asshole. It's, now don't get me wrong, if you will call me God King. Nah. Sorry, no. What's your name? You know? But we gotta be against kings as a group, y'all. I'm gonna be rambly today because it's right before work, and I promise, as long as the work don't burn me out too bad today, I plan on doing a proper stream. Like, I'm gonna do some crash coursing while I'm at work doing prep, and hopefully get some notes and all that even. Boy howdy, I hope this is on the right day, otherwise I'm early. But yeah, even if you can't go out to the rallies, which trust me, if it is No King's Day, there's a rally going on somewhere. There's a demonstration. There's a, hey y'all, this is our land. Now yes, I understand the problematic nature of what that sounds like, me being a southern white man saying that. Not that way, y'all. I hope I'm making that clear. This is our land. Mine and yours. If you draw breath and you do labor and you pay for shit, this is your land, motherfucker. It's not Trump's, it's yours. So, we should be fighting for it together. And once again, I will tell you, again, y'all, you know me, I'm a loudmouth on the internet. I'll say when it's time to fight, if I'm alive and drawing breath when we have time to fight. Right now is not that time. When your enemy says, yeah, swing on me, swing on me, swing on me, that's when you need to take a real careful account of what's going on around you. Because when your enemy's broadcasting it's time to fight, you need to be getting your defenses up and getting ready. You're either going to get jumped or they got something to make you look worse even if you're winning. Don't be violent. Hell, at the LA protest last I saw in one of Hassan's streams, as well as one of FD Signifier streams, it was the protesters, let me get the mic good and close because I want to be heard. The peaceful protesters. The peaceful protesters. The protesters who have not done anything as a whole. The peaceful protesters are blowing bubbles at the cops. It genuinely looks like some shit from Vietnam, y'all. Like, not Vietnam the country, Vietnam the era when we got beaten by the Vietnamese. Good job, y'all. I'm never gonna be like, oh no, the Vietnamese rebuffed the American fucking front. No, no, no. We shouldn't have been there. That was our bad. As an American, if you don't hear it from an American, I'm fucking sorry we did that, y'all. I'm not military. I know my promises, my apologies mean less than shit. But as just someone who is in the culture that did that to y'all, that wasn't fucking cool. I'm sorry. But beyond that, I haven't seen shit like this happening on the news since the last Trump presidency. And back then it seemed to be going very different. I mean, in defense of garbage and shit, they seem to be having learned a little bit. I mean, yes, they used tear gas. Yes, they used... Okay, maybe they haven't learned a damn thing and we're just doing it different this time. The protesters, y'all are doing a lot better this time round, I just gotta say. As far as, like, traffic cones double as tear gas dispersal units. You gotta have somebody in the crowd with a good rebreather, which you can buy at your local hardware store, or if you're down bad, check out your pawn shops. Just make sure to trade out those filters on them. And they're putting on these rebreathers, and I have not done it. One day I will get the opportunity to play again, and I will experiment to give y'all better info on it. But I do believe that a basic hardware rebreather does, while not getting rid of all of this choking and pain of tear gas, it does buy you at least a little bit. Now, if you're near a military surplus store and you can afford it, be the popular kid at the protest and bring several of those actual military-grade gas masks. Because they will prevent tear gas 100%. You can stand there and wave at the pigs as they're shooting it at you. But most importantly, y'all, we need to be clear here. It's nonviolence all the way right now. The reason I'm saying that is let's not forget what happens throughout history when fascists have power. He's gonna do a rally. He's gonna insult people. He's gonna say very hurtful, very cruel, very stupid things about migrants, probably women, definitely the queer community and the LGBTQ+ and the trans community. But he's doing that to try to get you to swing. I know. He deserves a swing. Don't give him the satisfaction. Hold that line right now. Because if you swing on him with the military's full force there, yeah, he's going to hit us and claim that we were the wrong. Best thing we can do? Laugh at him, lambaste him. If we really wanted to get in Trump's crawl, everybody just start singing taco. Like anything based on tacos. Taco trucks, tacos to food. But let's make sure we keep it and understand what it means. Trump, we've seen you in the fucking marketplace. We've seen you in the fucking business field. We've seen you, bitch. We see what you do. You fold. Trump never closes a damn thing, y'all. He constantly folds. He always makes a lot of noise, a lot of bluster, then runs away. And he'll do it again here, I'm willing to bet. But we cannot react violently, because if we do, understand, he's got no problem sending the military after a peaceful group of his own people. He's already shown that in the past. He's perfectly fine hurting his fellow Americans. Because let's not forget the events of Lafayette Square, not but 6 years ago now, when a bunch of peaceful protesters had formed together to say, not our president. We're doing absolutely nothing wrong. I mean, by all standards. No weapons, no violence. Most of them, it was like a whole cacophony of different people, because it was, you had BLM, you had some Antifa, you had moms and grandmas, you had children of immigrants, you had just people, just women in general being like, hey, you better not be trying that grab 'em by the pussy bullshit or we're going to deck your old ass. You just had large groups of people being like, hey, we don't like the fact that the president's rude. Not just like, you know, oh, he being funny. No, I mean like, if he had any sense of decency, if he had a mama, she would be telling, son, you know we didn't raise you to talk like that in front of folks. Y'all, as a Southerner, I can hear that. I hear it in my bones. The voices of the dead, they call to me from beyond the pale saying, son, what the fuck did y'all do to our country now? I mean, the South did some terrible shit. I ain't gonna pretend like we didn't, but y'all, the South tried to learn. As a Southerner, I'm looking at what's going on right now going, damn! Where's Sherman? We need a Sherman now. I'm kidding. Non-violence. I'm kidding. That was a joke. For any of my history buffs in chat, that was a joke. Don't do that yet. So far, we do not have a cause for that level of violence, and if we try to do that violence, it is only going to backfire on us. Like, spectacularly. Like, throwing snowballs at throwing snowballs at British regimented soldiers. For anyone that doesn't remember that event in history. See, that's the thing, y'all. History doesn't really... It doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme. Oh, sorry, y'all. It's... I don't know why. Y'all ever woke up just, like, sick? Oh, that's a stupid question. I'm sure a lot of y'all have. Okay. Have y'all ever woken up like you're hungover, but you ain't done no damn drinking in years? That's kind of how I felt this morning. Like, I got up, personal information here, y'all, probably too much for some of y'all. But I sleep typically in my boxers if the kids behave themselves, my kids being my pets. Now, if they're all going to pile on me, I typically wear like blue jeans or something to protect my soft bits. But I sleep no shirt, just typically underwear, just crashed out. And I typically will turn the air conditioner off when I go to bed, just because once I'm asleep, the heat don't typically bother me one way or the other. Also, power saving, you know. But I laid down, I went to bed, it was fine. I meant to make stairs. But I went down, I went to bed, everything was fine. Finished off my tea, got up a couple times in the night to drain the liquids. And then when I woke up this morning at like 1:30, I felt like shit. Like just hungover, cotton mouth, just sort of bleh. For anyone in my audience old enough to be drinking, at least 60% of y'all, you know what I mean, right? The bleh, like you know you overdid it. You had the question of it last night, but now you know you definitely overdid it. That feeling. Not like I didn't wake up in a bucket or nothing here. It's just oh, nope, they're fighting with each other. That wasn't me. Kittens being cute. But yeah, little things, you know. But I've gotten a little better. Well, I'm feeling a little better. One of the cats decided to spray my chair, so it's been Febrezed and it's folded up in a corner drying. Well, yeah, it's folded up in the corner drying. I wanted to make sure I wasn't lying to you good folks. And, well, back on topic of no kings. Y'all, there have never been any good kings. There are good tribal leaders, like the way that the original peoples did it. But let's be clear, that's not a way that we Americans could go back to or even fully utilize. Also, that's an entirely different culture of people with very different practices as far as like, I need to go make stairs. But as far as like, yeah, they have kings, but when they depose their kings, it typically involves a ritual like death that is very... If you're a king, you're not going to fuck up too much in those societies, just because it's very... As a king, you don't have the power, you're the figurehead for the power. And so, for example, in the ancient Mayan and Aztec places, if you were the titular figure, if you were the head whatever, and planting went bad, birth rates like dropped a noticeable amount, bad things happened. Okay, well clearly the gods are upset, let's kill this one and get a new one in. And that's just what we did. Oh yeah, let's also be clear here, y'all. It's the year of our good Dark Lord 2025. Why the fuck are we doing parades? What is this ticker tape outdated Looney Tunes bullshit? Now, I'm not coming after your, we've been doing it for so long, Macy's Day bullshit. I'm talking like military. The streets do not need fucking tanks. Do you want to know why we don't roll tanks in streets when there are streets? Because I don't want, well, in my case it's not going to happen here in Georgia, thankfully. But I'm positive the good folks of Washington don't want their streets torn up to where they're damn near undrivable. That's what tanks do to your streets, folks. They chew the ground beneath them. And like I said, if you were... Here's what bugs me. We can get tanks for military parades, but when the hurricanes hit and destroyed the AT and flattened a chunk of fucking North Carolina, South Carolina, and the coastal cities, we couldn't get anything to clear that out quick, fast, and in a hurry. Like, say, something that has a tread and can roll. No. We had to rely on rednecks and trucks. For the record, if y'all know me, I ain't downplaying our redneck brothers and sisters. They'd be badass revolutionaries back in the day. Check out the Coal Mine Rebellion, Bloody Tuesday, I believe is that one. But check out Kentucky and Earl C. Clemens. No, don't check that out. Check out Kentucky. Check out Coal miner rebellion. Check out mining towns. There's a lot that we could talk about in Appalachia, and truth be told, 100%, not if, when, I am still on that, y'all. I will walk the AT one day. My name is going in that list, even if I'm putting it down, because the list no longer exists. My name will be on that mountain or on a book somewhere. But when I go through the AT journey, I might, when I get up that way, if I'm not trying to set a speed record, just stop and talk to some old folks in the mining towns that was like ideally proper historians, but people that would have remembered the times, that would keep up with the stories, both handing them down as well as studying the actual knowledge. Because trust y'all, you ain't gonna get the true story of Bloody Tuesday, assuming that's the name of it. It was bloody something. Y'all, let's be clear, historians have like 4 settings. Super dramatic, Bloody Tuesday, Bloody Friday, D-Day, or super vague. There's no in between here. It's either boring or sometimes over the top. It's never just chill the fuck out, here's what happened today, you know? Which I guess is just history. That's just how we treat our history. But either way, if you check out Bloody Tuesday, that's another day when someone thought themselves a king. And a lot of good people died. That's the thing, is whenever this happens, the rich never pay the price here in America. They do in France, they do in Sweden, they do in various other places. Here in America, and this isn't just like us here, like, you want to know where the worst Nazis went? The ones that the Russians didn't get, and the ones that the ones that didn't get got, which there were a lot of them didn't get got. You want to know where they went? Here. They helped us build NASA. And then we fucked them right off to Brazil, where they could retire in peace. It's also why there's a creepy level of, like, maybe Hitler wasn't so bad that comes out of South America. It's also why, and they threw him down here into our armpit, the South, because it's also why we have so many cute little Christmas German towns. Because we had cute little Christian German Nazis. Yeah, Helen, I'm looking dead at your ass. I love your artwork. I love your designs. I will one day hopefully be able to go tubing before I die in Helen again. But yeah, maybe it's weird to have a biker rally in what was a German town that hid Nazis. Because that's the other thing, is these towns don't really, they're not proud of their heritage, if y'all can believe that. They don't want you to know how it's like around here. Yeah, during the early part of my childhood, you'd walk around and there were also, like, there was an activity. Walk around and take note of all the historic plaques. Most of those plaques were plantations, y'all. Most of those plaques were plantation and being like, here lied this good old family called to war with the evils of the Yanks. Yeah, that shit went down as time went on, because that shit's embarrassing as fuck. I mean, that's how history goes, y'all. Everybody's happy to be a Nazi when the Nazis are in vogue. Soon as Coco Chanel can't do the Nazi shit no more, suddenly, oh no, we were never the Nazis. We simply go where the fashion is, darling. No, you were a Nazi cunt. Fuck you and fuck your fashion. Fuck you right in your twisted old cunty face. For the record, I'm making lots of digs at a fashionista who's probably and more than likely long dead. But y'all, kings are bad. Kings are never good. Anyone that tells you kings are good are either delusional because they've never lived under a king, or they're just lying to you, which apparently way too many of you were not abused horribly for lying, and it shows. Bring back child abuse. Don't do that. If you couldn't tell from my Jimmy Fallon style laugh at your own jokes, people know you're making a joke. Y'all, when I do it, it should be endearing. I'm new at this. When he does it, he's a time-tested comedian. That should be like your mechanic asking you to climb under the car and do the work with him. Yeah, Holmes, why? That's a bit of a red flag. I don't know, y'all. I'm trying to get in the swing of things. I'll be honest, I'm feeling a bit out of it. I would like to again call and crow about the good people who did the U-Harley mowing, whether that was just purely civilian effort or the city actually stepped in and did the thing. Very happy. Very, very happy with y'all's work. Thank you. From the bottom of my shriveled little dead heart, thank you. Also, if you can manage to go to a protest today, if they are happening, I highly suggest going for the community building. Plus, it's a lot harder to do shady shit when you have hundreds and thousands. Let's be clear, y'all, the reason Jan 6th went off the way it did and there just weren't a pile of roughly 10 to 15 dead bodies on the White House lawn, the whole reason that happened, and the only reason that happened, they overwhelmed the gates. There were so many people there that the police that were present were afraid if they opened fire, the mob would overpower them and kill them. Y'all, the police aren't... let's be clear, I disagree with the police most of the time. I'd say more than most of the time, a healthy amount of the time. But I also realize they are human. And as a human, if you're sitting there watching, like, few 100,000 people just amass outside, yeah, your first thought is, well, I mean, fuck, if shit goes bad, are we gonna be... do we have the ammo, or are we gonna run out of ammo? Because, yeah, y'all, when it comes to, like, shit that turns from protest to riot to revolution, typically the thing that makes that difference is how you treat the people protesting. Like I said, it's... do I think mistakes were made on the DC police side? Oh, most definitely. I think if they had held that line hard when it started, then the MAGA bitch would have never gotten murked or killed, depending on how you see it. I still see it as a bit of a murder, because if they had done their job properly, the protests, those rioters would have never gotten that far. But, you know, we live, we learn, we work, we change, we grow. I just wish that our... See, here's the thing, and y'all, and I don't even consider this anything more than just, hey, y'all, sky blue, water wet. But isn't it fucked up that the police and state violence almost entirely focuses on, like, again, January 6th, it happened. A whole group of right-wingers literally took the goddamn Capitol by force. And they got a strong talking to. Some of them spent a little bit of time in jail. About a year. For murdering a Capitol police officer collectively and shitting all over desks and stealing shit. But y'all, they spent a year in jail. Isn't that enough? I mean, yeah, they made a shit ton of money from the constituents and followers of Donald Trump, but everyone that they don't respect or care about made fun of them. Meanwhile, currently at the protests going on, where everyone is blowing bubbles at the cops and it's a peaceful protest, so far 3 journalists have already been hospitalized due to rubber bullets hitting spots that, if you're a competent shot, you wouldn't have hit them in. Meanwhile, you feel me, right? It's kind of... I'm fucking up my bill. It's kind of bullshit that the right wing all went home. In fact, if you watch the documentary on Jan 6th that was on Netflix, like, a couple months ago, I don't remember what the name of it was. I wish I had that for y'all. But it was basically just the events of Jan 6th, and from various live stream perspectives, plus from their perspectives. And you do see all the rage of people stealing desks and breaking shit and spray painting and shitting on floors. But you also see, like, the huge group of people that were just stoned and wandering around the Oval Office and acting like, oh wow, we're just getting a tour guide, more or less. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. And you can see the Capitol Police just following them around. Not being like, hey, you, stop that. Hey, you have committed crimes against Skyrim and her people. No, no, no. Just following him around like it's a Sunday brunch. And yes, in context, all that's going through my head, oh, they're gathering evidence. Oh, this is going to be punished. No, all of the Trump supporters got to take a lovely Sunday tour of the White House, or the Capitol building. They got to shit anywhere they wanted, smoke weed in the main little gallery area, and got to steal like desks and shit like that. That's what they get to do. As lefties, we get to gather in the street and get shot by tear gas and cops. Meanwhile, the cops will take them on a tour because, you know, they're buddies. But I digress. It really is just kind of fucked up, and that's why I'm telling y'all, be safe. Don't give them an excuse. Be mean with your words, but be kind with your actions right now. But that's because, and I keep hearing it get bantered about online, and I agree with it, hey y'all, you don't want to show up and protest? That's cool, you don't have to. But eventually you'll be in a camp instead. We'll either be protesting in the streets together, or we'll be locked into prisons that he's currently building and constructing. Don't think he will? Y'all, Biden had more people in prison than fucking communist China. Democrats are not your friend either, but they're at least friendly. As I said, y'all, I get frustrated with politics only because I don't know how after over 100 years we're still torn between you get either the shit sandwich or the douchebag. You get one of the two and they're both terrible options. But at least the one side is weak and soft and the other side is a fascist. I mean, one side will give you at least 4 years of us getting food and some of us getting our college debts paid off at least a little bit. They can't take away what you've already gotten. But then we lost the script, and now the Republicans are back, and now they're trying to not only... See, there's my problem, y'all. The Republicans are back, and the rich are getting richer exponentially more and more. They're closing up more loopholes, and surprisingly, all of our anti-war friends that were going to be anti-war no matter which side won, y'all, only seem to be anti-war when the Democrats are in power. And even then, only seem to be anti-war so far as they absolutely have to be. They'd be fine with the world burning down so long as they get to be the last one on the cinder watching everyone else burn. I'm just saying we need to get rid of these people, and by that I don't mean violence, I mean re-education. I mean treat them properly. Because, y'all, I do think that very basic bullshit from like the 90s era movies might help. Things like team building exercises, things like working together, things like seeing each other, maybe not as, you know, oh, I love my neighbor who's Republican, but at least as, hey, that's my neighbor who's my fellow American. And I felt like during the Biden administration, much as we might have been divided, we were building back. We were putting bridges in place. The non-fucking crazy people were able to communicate more and work together a bit more. And now Trump's back, so, you know, they're eating the dogs and cats. Only from the presidential podium. Strength through power, power through strength. You know, don't believe your lying eyes, or trust the Lutenpresse. Like, Lutenpresse? I'm sorry, y'all. I think we should do what Germany did when they had their Nazi problem. We need to hard get rid of them. Get rid of them the way you do cockroaches. Well, maybe not that way. That sounds real bad. No, I mean like pure re-education. We give basically every citizen who wants to stay in America, every citizen, a patriot test, so to speak. And this test isn't going to be, well, hell, red, white. No. How do you think Trump had a good point about anything? If so, please list below what points you think he made well. And for the record, if you say anything other than, no, the man was a fucking madman, okay, that's an immediate red flag. We're going to look at what point you make to see if you're just an idiot. One of these people, well, my neighbors say that he's good, so he's good. Whether you're an idiot, or whether you're, you know... See, my biggest problem is just the way Nazis are. They're weaselly little cunts. If my boss, who, for sake of not naming them properly, I'll name them Crouton this time. If Crouton comes to me and he's like, well, Travis, why don't you like me? I'm rich and I try to get all the money in the world. Why don't you like me? I'll look at him and be like, well, because you rich cunt. I've seen people damn near die making you money while you just go buy another house and rent out more properties and tick off further. And I think people like you are literal examples of parasites. That's why, buddy. And I long for the day that you too have to work as much as everyone else does. Not the day that you die, not the day that you suffer. The day you have to just live like a normal person, which to you would be unspeakable suffering. And I'll say this to their face. Let's be clear. There's a reason they don't let me run the registers. It's not because I can't count. Hell, unlike some of the people that we've had on register in the past that are no longer with us, I can actually do the basic math somewhat in my head, or use a calculator if the system goes down. I don't require the system to spit back numbers at me to do basic math. That being said, if a customer comes up and says, I want one of them there large biscuits. Okay, just plain large biscuit, come on around. No, I want a large biscuit with eggs. A plain large biscuit with eggs. But plain in this context means without anything, just the bread. So, do you want a plain biscuit or an egg biscuit? Well, why are you so stupid? I'm not the one that can't read a fucking menu, you fucking dipshit inbred motherfucker. I'm sorry that your mother and your father decided to make a personal, intimate connection at the family fucking reunion, but that's not my fucking fault, you dipshit. Now read the big scary words on the menu to Papa Travis, and let me give you the fucking thing you want. And this is why I'm not allowed on the front end. Because one of my jobs I got fired because I straight up told the main boss while she was trying to corporate speak me, no, you're just a stupid fucking cunt, fuck off. You made me work when I was both high on painkillers and damn near shitting my pants. Go fuck yourself. And I left. I called it being an asshole as well as brutal honesty. But it's also something that I can't really turn off. I is what I is, and I is an asshole. Only good thing I can say is I'm an honest asshole. I do my very best to never lie because lying makes me sick. Gives me queasies. Because that was consecutively the one thing that I would get a real beat down for. And by beat down, well, let's not go into that. Either way. I got real good at not lying and just taking it on the chin when I was found to be wrong or whatever. But I think we're about to come to an end of this stream because I'm about to have to be watching the door to find out if my boss is going to come get me, if one of my other coworkers is going to come get me, or if I'm about to make a 3 a.m. run through the woods to get to work. Typically, if I work the 8 a.m. shift, I don't mind walking, but, you know. Right now, the road's clear, which is nice, but damn, I don't want to have to run that far to then not sit down for 9 hours straight. Nah, y'all, it's weird. I don't think anyone really likes their job. I, like everyone else, can just tolerate it. But it's just exhausting not having enough people to keep the place to work easy. And we'll see if Alan shows up today. I make jokes, but it's like, it is a payday Thursday, so there's 50-50 odds he don't show up and it's just Jesse. Who's getting better, but he's still like... Not to be mean, I've come to not pay him much attention when he asks questions and moves about, because I got a question. Okay, what's up? What's this deeper meaning to life? But this feels more like a question you ask a deep and personal friend over a bowl, or a question you have with someone while y'all are sitting in a deer camp or something. Right now, we're at work, so fuck are you asking me, bud? Especially when I don't... Like, don't get me wrong, Miss Amanda and I used to shoot back and forth with, like, deep shit all the time. But if I fire at you, hey, why do you think America's so invested with our guns that we will literally sacrifice everyone else, even our own children's welfare, for them? Like, Sweden loves guns arguably as much as we do, but they haven't had a school shooting since the fucking 40s. Why do you think that is? And the best answer you got me is, well, they hate us because they ain't us. Hey, I don't know. America just built different. But that's not an answer, and that isn't a thought. That's just a thought-stopping cliche. I want you to think. If we're going to have the deep conversations, I want us to think. If you're just going to ask me what the fuck the weather's like today, let's keep it base weather shit, you know? Because, like, I don't mind talking about, like, the band I'm listening to. That was another thing that just, oh my god, I was offended. Not his fault, not him doing it. It was I offended myself. Well, Travis, this is one of them old bands. Have you heard of them? It's Linkin Park. I don't know what the TikTok or Vines noise is, but the dome. Yeah, that, I felt all of that. Just the, oh, in my age. And then I found out he was talking about the new lead singer, that Mormon bitch who basically says that if you're a rape victim, you deserved it. Yeah, fuck that bitch. I hate the new Linkin Park. But I miss Chaz. I miss the old Linkin Park. Back when it had soul and probably depression. But that's something I'd like for us to discuss on a different day. One of those when I actually have a chat to discuss things with and we can get somewhere with it. Eventually I will start live streaming again, y'all. Well, again, eventually I will start live streaming, period. But for now, it's just this is slightly easier because until I can get the live stream hooked up, I'm just basically, this is just easier for now. Also, why is it no one in my life told me that putting your hair into two little balls like pigtails is maybe not socially acceptable for a man with a mustache to do? But my god, it is so comfortable now. Like, I thought I was going to have a heat stroke yesterday just because I wanted to let my hair down and see what the color looks like and take a few cute pictures. I was feeling in myself that day. Might post some pictures to YouTube later. Probably not. Ooh. But I was feeling myself, you know, so I took a few selfies and all that. And then on the last, and again, I didn't do this in the beginning of the walk. I did this at like the last, not even a mile left. I took my hair down because I thought, oh, it's mostly just tree line that I'm going to be walking in, so it'll be shady and fine. It was not fine. It was in fact not fine. It was terrible. I should never have done that. I was so overheated. But I got home and avoided the urge to shave my head, and now instead of one bun, I have two little buns on my head. And it feels kind of weird under my hat, but I'll deal with it for now. I just don't know why nobody told me about it. It's nice. It's cooling. I'm not going for like the clearly African puffball style, though I do like it. I just don't think... When I say not for me, I mean absolutely no offense to it, just not my type of hairdo, and I feel like that would be a little bit of cultural appropriation. Putting it back in tails, that's not so much. Putting it back into two little balls, again, I've seen elves and fantasy characters using that from time immemorial. But as far as like locks, nah, I ain't doing locks. Nothing against locks, they look beautiful. But it'd be like going to get Japanese kanji tattooed on in the year of our Dark Lord 2025. It's, again, not going to judge you if you're doing it, not going to yuck no one's yum, but little cringe, little cringe. Either way, I'm also going to try to figure out how to paint some of these things in here and how to make some of these banners more banner-like. But that'll be for a different time. I've officially run dry my time. Y'all be good. Oh, if you want to check out that short that I posted, I'd be real appreciative. For some reason, the Catitude coloring book that said, "What the fuck?" that triggered the child safety lock. And I get it, but the "what the fuck" did, not the "I hear you calling, asshole, do you hear me ignoring you? I'm the fuckers in charge of you fucks." None of these triggered the, like, age gate. Age gate was triggered by "what the fuck," or it was triggered by Rise Against, and I don't know which. But that video will not be monetized, which, oh well, none of them are. It's gotten 0 views and no love at all, and I feel bad for it, because it's one of the better pictures. But, y'all be good. Ain't that a pretty sliver moon? We will see y'all here in a few hours. With the grass being cut, I'll hopefully be home much sooner today. With it being payday, though, I might be picking up some flypaper and 7 dust. I don't know. Either way, y'all be good. We'll see you when we see you. I'll try to definitely get some coffee so I got some energy for Dishonored and other things. Love y'all. Be good. Endure. Survive. If you're at the protests, do be safe, do watch each other, possibly bring a burner phone rather than a proper phone, because they will steal and search that shit. Also, make sure to just, again, keep an eye on each other, keep each other safe. When we're angering fascists, it's a dangerous but necessary task. Y'all be good. I hope to see everybody here this afternoon, or this evening. If not, I hope to see y'all over the coming days. I realize my streams aren't exactly the top of anyone's list. I still have a long way to go. But y'all be good. I don't want to hear of nobody getting hurt. We've had plenty of martyrs. Let their side do some dying and bleeding for a change. Y'all be good. Be safe. Bye for now.